Welcome to the Small Nothing podcast, an offshoot of the Big Nothing, where instead of a full-length podcast discussion, I condense a topic from the world of sports and give you a quick rundown of my opinions regarding that topic. Today we talk Gareth Southgate. The English Football Association has announced Gareth Southgate as the new England national team manager. This news has caused a very mixed reaction amongst England supporters. Before I delve into my personal opinions regarding the hiring, I would like to provide a quick profile of the former England international. Southgate made his professional debut at the age of 18 for Crystal Palace, where he remained for 6 years, becoming club captain and leading them to a first division title. After totaling 152 appearances for the club, he moved on to Aston Villa for a fee of £2.5 billion. As captain of Aston Villa, Southgate managed to win the League Cup and make a UEFA Cup final, but this was not enough to stop him from handing in a transfer request at the end of the 1999-2000 season. Villa managed to hold on to him for a year after this, but he then departed for Middlesbrough, where he quickly established himself as a firm fan favourite. For the third time in his career, Southgate was named club captain and made another UEFA Cup final, and once again won the League Cup. Alongside his impressive club career, Southgate has totaled 57 appearances for England and played a pivotal role in the squad that made the semi-final of Euro 96. It was of course at this tournament where Southgate infamously missed that penalty that sent eventual champions Germany into the final. But that was Gareth Southgate as a player. What about Gareth Southgate the manager? Truthfully, we know nothing substantial about Gareth Southgate as a manager. He spent 3 years as a club manager of Middlesbrough, where he was dismissed after they were relegated in the second year, and in his third year they were fourth in the championship. His next managerial role saw him become the manager of the England under-21 squad, where he failed to progress past the group stages in 2015 of the under-21 European Championships. It was not all bad though, as he did manage a tournament win the next year at Toulon. Having provided you with a brief history of Gareth Southgate, I will now discuss whether I believe he is the right choice. Through the hiring process, it became increasingly clear that the FA were poised to appoint Southgate. This isn't necessarily because he was the right choice or the most qualified, but because he was the only choice. There are not many high-profile, highly experienced or qualified managers throwing themselves at the job, and with the insistence that England managers must all be English, the pickings were incredibly slim. There weren't many who were really fit to hold the role, and personally speaking, it was completely the wrong decision by the FA. They clearly bowed to great pressure to name a successor to Sam Allardyce instead of maybe waiting and seeing if there was something better available. To my knowledge, the FA didn't approach any other managers, and they were quite happy to make a decision based on the managers who threw their hats in the ring. There was speculation that Roberto Mancini, the former Manchester City manager, was a contender for the job, but nothing significant mounted from that. For me, Gareth Southgate's appointment is a bit of a cop-out. The FA once again went for the very safe option. Gareth Southgate has been entrenched in the FA system for many years now, and he's very well liked amongst his peers, many of whom have campaigned on his behalf to get the job. I don't think Gareth Southgate would be much of an improvement on the last two managers that we had. Based on sheer talent alone, I do not doubt that England will successfully qualify for the next two international tournaments that he is in charge of, barring, say, early termination. But I fail to see how they make these tournaments with a manager I fail to see how they make a dent in these tournaments with a manager who's essentially learning on the job. I mean, he's never had a successful managerial spell anywhere, and there's no historical evidence on his part to suggest he is fit to hold the most pressured role in English football. It scares me to think that Gareth Southgate himself believes that he is right for the job. 3 months ago, he said he was not ready, and he took himself out the run to become the next England manager. But after wins over Malta and Scotland, he then changed his tune. Clearly, these wins have led to a full sense of accomplishment on his part. I question this appointment also when it comes to decision making of the FA. For the past 3 appointments, have been managers that haven't really shown much competence when it comes to the modern game. Serial underachievers, if you will. Southgate could yet show that he does not fit this mold, but as I said, there's no historical evidence on his part to suggest otherwise. It makes me question why he was employed as under 21 manager in the first place, much more than men's senior team manager. He was hailed essentially as the saviour of English youth football, and yet he seems to have abandoned his long-term project where he was supposed to completely restructure the English youth system and slowly develop players, introducing them into the senior system, and therefore making us contenders for years to come. But he's abandoned this halfway through and rendered it yet another failure in his very short managerial career. That's, for me, is too many failures to have on such a short CV and still be rewarded with the highest profile job available. I look at Gareth Southgate's past history and I don't think there's ever been a manager who has done less to earn more than Gareth Southgate. If you enjoy this, please visit the website, thebignothingpodcast.com, interact with us on Twitter, at the Big Nothing Podcast, and thank you very much.